anyone say something about this expression? Leave the other side alone for a moment. Anyone notices something on the left-hand side?
You have a common factor.
Yes, but only if I factor out what?
The tip.
Exactly. Oops. So what do I have in parentheses?
X plus 3.
Exactly. Good. So I have an x plus 3. So I have an x plus 3. Am I allowed to simplify it? The answer is no, unless I write that x cannot equal negative 3. But I already did. I already did. So then I can't simplify it. And the simplified form of this fraction on the left, or the entire equation, is 2 equals negative 2. What do you think about this? If you have $2 in your pocket, or you owe me $2, or your friend or your parents, is it the same thing? No. What do you conclude about this equation?
There's no solution.
Exactly. Equation has no solutions. Now, there was a suggestion, and I would like to go along with that. The suggestion was, because it's a very good one, was to multiply everything by x plus 3. I completely agree with it, but not before we write this. This is absolutely mandatory to write that. So your suggestion was, let me see the other camera, how is it? Okay. Your suggestion was to multiply everything by x plus 3. I love it. But don't forget this. So we multiply this by x plus 3. We multiply this by x plus 3. We multiply this by x plus 3 with minus in front. Good. What do we get on the left-hand side?
2x.
Excellent. What do we get here after we multiply negative 6 by x plus 3 and divide by x plus 3?
Negative 6.
Excellent. Negative 2 has to be distributed to x plus 3. Negative 2x minus 6. Correct? Negative 2 times x, negative 2 times 3. Correct so far? Everyone? Yes? No?
Yes,
Perfect. Okay. I'm on page 4. I move negative 2x to the other side. I get 4x. Negative 6 minus 6, negative 12. How much is x?
Negative 3, but it can't be.
Exactly. So the conclusion is the same. It cannot be. Because if you go back and plug it in, you're not going to get anything, because these are undefined. So still the same conclusion. No solutions. The equation has no solutions. Awesome. I was thinking to change the 66 to 67. I let you decide. if you want to go with 66 or 67. You choose.
I guess do the updated one, 67.
Okay, you're gonna see why. I don't have anything against this. It's just that we have to multiply this fraction by these two, this fraction by these two, and this fraction by these two. And it is the same thing, but this is more interesting, and you'll see why. This is a lot of writing, but this is more intelligent. Okay. If you feel like working on this problem, we can always go back to it anytime. Okay, so 67. I'm not sure why the other camera is not centered. I want you to be able to watch this if you want. Okay, so it's x divided by x squared minus 1 minus x plus 3 over x squared minus x, and equals negative 3 over x squared plus x. Okay, what type of equation is this? I know it's very clear. The answer is linear. No. Quadratic. No. What is it?
Rational.
Yes, of course, because it has a ratio and it has x in the denominator. It doesn't have to have x in all denominators, at least one of them. So this is a rational equation. Awesome. Now, why I say that this is a more interesting problem is because we have to work on each denominator first. That's our first step. So, can anyone tell us what needs to be done to x squared minus 1? Actually, to each denominator. Yes, I'm ready. Very good. Excellent. Charles, thank you. How? Anyone?
Can you just like take the x out?
Careful.
So, like x times.
Careful. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to stop. And let's go to sharing. And one of those there is one file here, the first day agreement. So as I mentioned, this is basic algebra, in which we square a binomial, which you already told me, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Awesome. Which is the same thing for a squared, a minus b, everything squared. A squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Awesome. But now let's talk about the last one. Can anyone refresh our memory? What does this mean? A plus b times a minus b. What is that?
A binomial.
Yes, it is a binomial. It's called the difference of squares. And what do I get as the answer here?
A squared minus b squared.
Excellent. So now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to our problem. X squared minus 1. How do we factor x squared minus 1?
Should be just x minus, in between parentheses, x minus 1 and x plus 1.
Excellent. Good. What about this one?
Just factor the x out.
Yes. So it's x minus 1. And what about this one?
Okay, 30x out and it's x plus 1.
Excellent. Great job. Good. So now I rewrite the whole thing. And remember what we did before. This is a negative number. This is a positive number because there is plus here. There is nothing, right? So if it's nothing, it's positive. So negative divided by positive will be negative. And then I will move this term to the other side. So x over x minus 1, x plus 1, minus x plus 3 over x minus 1, plus 3 over x plus 1, and of course equals 0. I cannot continue before I state the restrictions. What are the restrictions for this equation?
X cannot equal positive 1 and negative 1.
X can't equal 0.
Exactly. These are the three restrictions. One factor, the second factor, the third factor. Now this one repeats, this one repeats, this one repeats. So there are three different factors, three different restrictions. Great job. Now I have to find the least common denominator. What is the least common denominator?
Is it x minus 1, x plus 1? Oh, x minus 1, x plus 1?
Very good. Excellent. So, next step. X minus 1 times x plus 1 was multiplied by what? Was multiplied by?
X.
That's why the numerator has to be multiplied by x. These two were multiplied by
One.
by
X plus 1.
by x plus 1. The numerator has to be multiplied by x plus 1. Finally, we're multiplied by
X minus 1.
the numerator has to be multiplied by x minus 1. Okay. Next step. Good. X times x is very clear. But now here I have to be very careful. X plus 1 multiplied by x plus 3 with minus in front. X times x with minus in front. X times 3 with minus in front. X times 1 with minus in front. 1 times 3 with minus in front. Let's stop for a moment and see if everyone understands this step. Does anyone have questions on x plus 1 times x plus 3? So x squared plus 3x plus x plus 3. But they all take the negative sign in front. I don't want to lose anyone. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Plus 3 times x plus 3 times negative 1. What is our next step?
Combine like
Brilliant. Who was that? Charles. Thank you. Okay, these two are gone. Thank goodness. These two are gone. So I only have negative x and minus 6. Divided by x, x plus 1, x minus 1 equals 0 over 1. I'm making a point here. What type of rational equation is this? It has a specific name, and it's that one in which we can cross multiply. How is it called? it's called a, how is this called? A fraction on one side, the equal symbol in the middle, and a fraction on the other side. It's a rational equation, but it's a specific one. It's a very special one, easy to work with. It's the only one that we can cross multiply. A times D equals B times C. Anyone remembers the name of this?
Proportion?
Yes. Only in a proportion, which is a specific or special type of rational equation. Only in a proportion we can cross multiply. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get a simple proportion. This times 1 is negative x minus 6. Whatever times 0, it must be 0. All I have to do is move negative 6 and solve. How much is x?
Negative 6.
Excellent. But the first question I have is negative 6 among the list of restrictions? Restrictions.
No, it's not.
If it is, I'll say no solutions. But if it's not, I'll say this is it. It's the only one. There is no other. Any questions? Any questions? How do we feel so far?
Okay.
Okay, good. So on this handout we have two more here. It's a literal equation, right, in which we are given 3 letters or 3 variables if you want to resolve for one of them. The same thing here. Yes, no. We continue. Anyone? Is that a yes?
Well, if we continued, wouldn't we run out of time to submit the written work for the assignment?
That's okay. That's okay because I spoke too much about the syllabus and we only had 45 minutes. So that's okay. It's okay if you don't have one for today. So 1 over r equals 1 over r1 plus 1 over r2. We're asked to solve for r. If you want, I can wait for you to work on this problem or the other one. It's up to you. What would you like to do? We are a team, we make decisions together. What would you like to do?
Can we work on it together?
Okay, so you want to work on this together. Perfect. Okay. Good. Anyone would like to suggest? Don't say anything. I need to start a new video because I'm